Hey everybody, it's your girl Angie. Welcome back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. I am here to do my weekend review videos. I have my hair look a little, I just washed my hair. But I have a little bit of good news. I am back on a health and fitness journey, and my goal is to go to the gym 4 days a week. That's why I'm no plan, because after I finish this, I'm gonna go back to work. I'm on my lunch break and I'm gonna go head to the gym. So I didn't feel like putting on makeup just to wash it all off in a few hours anyway. So I'm going to do my weekend reviews on Sunday nights, and I think I'm gonna go live because I just like going live. If you all jump in, we can talk about it together. If not, I know you all will watch it on the repeat and get in the comments either way. So I think going forward, my weekend reviews will get to you one day early. So that is good news, hopefully, for you all. But let's jump into Family or Fiancé. This past week's episode was David and Kim. I didn't take any notes because I'm telling you, I've been watching the show for so many seasons. And I've been waiting, just waiting. I don't have my ring on today, but y'all know I've been waiting for an episode to slap me dead in my face. I've been waiting for Family or Fiance to have a couple that would give me a little bit of, I guess, knowledge for my own home. I This was just a great episode. David and Kim met in 6 months. I think he's a teacher, she's a counselor, so they met at the schoolyard. Within 6 months, they were engaged. Yes, that is fast, but these people have been engaged for over 4 years. So after 4 years, you should know each other. You should know if you want to get married or not. What are y'all waiting for to get down this aisle? It seems like both families get along. They get along with both families, but her two children, they don't see it for David. They don't see it for him. It took me a while to get there. So they have two different parenting styles. And that's exactly what goes on in my house today. Except for I'm probably more of the David, and my husband is probably more of the Kim. I'm more of the do what I say do. If you don't do it, them doors coming off the hinges, I'm going to get in your ass. I ain't got time. I'm the parent, you the child. That's me, and that is how I was raised. And my husband is more of the woo 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 woo. And I guess he is in more of a social work environment, counseling type of environment, like Kim, and that's how he was raised. So we don't ever see eye to eye. We don't have any children together. You know, me and my husband, we've been married for what, 7 years now? 7 years. I should know the math. I'm the damn accountant. I have a son and he has a daughter. Our parenting styles are completely different. So I'm watching this episode like, ooh, they is up in my house. Now some of it went too far. We ain't go as far as David and Kim. We don't have them anger issues. But on the ride up to the house, the little boys was telling their auntie about, you know, we ain't clean our room, so David took the doors off the hinges. And I'm sitting here like, and he paid the mortgage, right? That's the adult's house. Like, y'all don't pay no bills. So if the doors come off the hinges, and I can't tell y'all how many times in my childhood, especially them teenage years. Now I was a little bit bad, maybe a lot bad. I don't know. Ask my mama. I can't tell you how many times my daddy done took that door off my hinge. How many times they have locked my closet so I can't get to my new clothes. I can't tell you the different type of punishments my parents had me on. When they said something about the doors coming off the hinge and that auntie got red hot mad, like she was ready to fight them people when she got to the house, I didn't have no understanding of that because I've been through that type of punishment, and that was the parenting that I was raised on. It ain't no privacy in the house that I pay bills. If I pay the bills, it ain't no privacy over here. And if the door come off the hinge, it just come off the hinge, and it is what it is. So I didn't have any understanding for the children when they were complaining. I'm like, this seemed like a little bit too much on these kids. All kids need discipline. But I even learned some stuff this episode that You have to meet children where they are. Not everyone can handle that. I said what I said. I'm the adult, you the child type of disciplines. A lot of children do need, some understanding. Children do need a little bit of woo 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 every once in a while. And when I look on how I parent my son, I am strict, but I don't think I'm anywhere as strict as my parents were, just because I understood. And I don't feel like I have any lingering issues that me and my family got to go to counseling over, but I just feel like you don't need that all the time. But then again, my son ain't 5% as bad as I was, so he deserved all that discipline, no way. But let's get into the episode. So, from the beginning of the episode, I really don't have too much understanding because I'm thinking this is normal until we get to why everybody have an issue. And, everyone's like, he don't get along with her kids. And the mama was like, and he got anger issues, and I can't tell you how many times he done went off on me, and I don't deserve all this anger and woo woo woo. So I'm like, oh, so he has anger issues. And at first, they made it seem like, well, he was in the military, so I'm thinking, is it some PTSD or the letters? And I'm thinking, does he have some kind of issues from maybe going to a war or something? Like, I don't know. But I was concerned when they said the anger issues. Then we sit down at the dinner. I really ain't learned too much from these 21 questions. I have to take this show with a grain of salt. It is for entertainment, but I do learn some things from this show as well. So the main thing that came out of this is the boys and the auntie understood that he didn't just take the doors off the hinges on his own. He discussed it with mom, and mom said, okay. Did mom say okay because she was okay with it, or did she say okay because she didn't want to see none of his anger? We don't know. That when people say anger, it really makes me think you need some serious counseling, because there's different type of angers, and they really didn't tap into how angry that David gets. So we don't know the extent of his anger. But moving along, the mom at the dinner makes it known that all the time he cussed me out, he ain't never apologized to me, because one of them said he does always come back and apologize. I have a problem with that too. Don't come around giving me your ass just to give me an apology the next day. No, I need some changed behavior. Apologies don't mean anything if the behavior does not change as well. So I don't care. I would have an issue on both sides. Yeah, mom, you deserve an apology, but it's something with that mama. We gonna get to that too. And then don't come over here apologizing every time you blow up, just to blow up again next week and apologize again next week. I don't have time for that either. So eventually we get to the meat and potatoes of this. The meat and potatoes of their whole situation, the way why he is with her kids, the way he was with his kids, is because of the way his mother was with him. His mother was very strict, straight to the point. It wasn't too many hugs. It wasn't too many I love yous. And the mom said, that's how I was raised. And you got to think, back in the day, a couple of generations back, they didn't have time. And I don't want to say because I wasn't there, but they worked really hard. Like a lot of parents, especially Black parents back in that day, probably worked two jobs, especially if you was in a single parent household. I ain't gonna put no more no more of my family business in the street. But some of y'all know, and we know, if they came from a single parent household, it wasn't a lot of time of the parents being in the house, and a lot of the kids, especially the older siblings, probably helped in raising the younger ones. So it wasn't time to go to all your basketball games. It wasn't time to go to all your events. Now, yes, you can say I love you, because children need to hear that. But the mother felt like, you should have known that I love you by my actions. Where kids in their mind thinking, you supposed to take care of me. So how am I supposed to know you love me just because you taking care of me? That's what you're supposed to do because you had me. It was eye opening. The therapist pointed out that those children, she pointed this out to Kim. Those children feel like you chose this man over them because you're choosing his style of parenting over sticking up for them. When I tell you that, that hit home, and I had to really think about some things, and was like, even though my son is now 18, me and my son have talked about this in the past. And I think he understands that I'm not choosing one or the other. When I tell you this blend, people who talk about blending families is easy and they wrote the book on it, send me one. Send me one. It is not easy. It's constant learning, constant understanding, constant trying to be aware of everyone's feelings. It's really hard. And I'm happy they went on TV to talk about this because I got a little pointers in there. Like I said, we don't have all that anger, but we definitely have all that blending. And because I've heard so many different scenarios on this, should you get married if your children don't get along with their future step parent, even if the children is grown as hell? Now, it's a 15-year-old in there, but hell, 3 years his ass is grown too. He could be off in college. Now, he has been in these children's lives for 4 years. And there's been scenarios where I've had to step in and be like, that's mine. I'll take care of that. Don't say nothing else. Because you do have to be a protector. Because as a parent, you know your children the best. And you have to be that protection. And that mom, she probably does need to step in and say, hold up. These mine. I respect you for trying to help me, but let me take care of this. I don't know, and I ain't the expert. I'm just telling you, I appreciated this episode. I want to know you all's opinion in the comments. I've heard people say, if my kids don't like them, I can't like them. But then you sit in the house alone, and your kids over there and got married and had kids of their own, minding their business, but you sitting over here alone. It's a hard one, and I guess every situation is different. All I can say is you can't ever stop working on the blend. You can't. You have to always listen to each other and always put your children first. I'm going to say it. It's just Angie's Kiss My Cheeks opinion. But you also have to put the love of your spouse first in there too. I just want to know what you all think in the comments because I thought it was a great episode. At the end of the day, what hurt me the most, he done worked out whatever he had to work out with his mama. You know, the mama poured her heart out and he crying over missed trophies and missed opportunities. I'm sure it's a lot more than that. It's only a 60-minute show. I'm sure it's a lot more to their confusion between son and mother, but that's what I pulled out of it. Like, he wanted his mother to be there, and I'm sure she was probably working, and so I can't get into what was going on. But what pissed me off the most, he worked stuff out with his mother. He worked stuff out with the children, her children, and apologized to her children when his son was sitting right there. And the whole time I'm waiting for him, like, okay, when you going to address your son? Because you all up in Dr. Tracy's office crying about how you mistreated your children and raised them the same way you was raised, but you ain't sending an apology over to your child sitting in the corner. And he, the whole time I'm looking at his face, I already knew what he was going to say. He's like, okay, I'm happy to see this emotion from my dad, but when he gonna say something to me? When he gonna apologize to me and the other 4 kids at home? I'm hoping off camera he addresses that, because I would have an issue if I was that son and I'm sitting up here watching you mend every relationship but the one that should be the most important, which is your child. That's what hurt me the most watching this. I saw this man heal every relationship and make an effort to heal every relationship in his life, but the most important one, which is his child. And they ain't addressed it in the little afterthoughts or nothing either, unless I ain't read it fast enough. I don't know. Get in the comments and let me know what you all think. But that was it. That was it. I hope I ain't put too much of my business in the street. But I take all kind of advice because I feel like I'm not the expert on the subject and I try my best. And I feel like we all good, but we ain't gonna just pretend like it's always been all good. It's work. It's work. I hope they can make it. That oldest one said he ain't moving back in the house. That's good. You 20, 21. You ain't gotta move back in the house. I don't, and see, she got a little bit too much of a woo woo woo. You gotta let these kids fly and live on his own. I'm sure he live in the same town. You can go over there and visit. But you know, they ain't put all their business on the show either. But that was this week's Family or Fiance. I can't wait to see what else Dr. Tracy is going to bring us. I feel like she's bringing us some new scenarios. And as always, this episode, I agree with every piece of advice she gave. I really do. And sometimes I don't rock with her, but I really rocked with her this episode. Great therapy sessions. And Black people get the therapy. we need it. Everybody could use a little bit of help. But that's it. Go ahead and like, comment, share. I'm recording these live. I know it's the middle of the day. I'm on my lunch break, but I'm recording these live because it's easier for me to put it up on StreamYard live than record and upload and all that mess later. But starting I guess that's this Sunday. Yeah, because it's Monday. I'm going to go live with these reviews on Sundays so my Mondays could be free. So I'll see you all Sunday. Bye.